So, graduation. You've tossed the cap, you've celebrated with your friends, and now you're standing right at the starting line of your career. It's this incredible moment, right? Filled with excitement and maybe just a little bit of, what now? Well, let's dive into this journey of landing that first job.
Does this sound familiar? I think we've all been there. You've done all the hard work, you've got the degree, and it just feels like all the doors should magically swing open for you. But as we're about to see, the reality, well, it can be a little more complicated than that.
And this slide, it just nails that gap perfectly. On one side, you've got the dream, the expectation, a nice straight path to an amazing job. But on the other side is the reality, a winding road that, let's be honest, can feel pretty confusing and challenging at times. But don't worry, navigating that road is exactly what we're going to break down today.
So, first up, let's talk about those first few months right after you graduate. This initial phase is really all about understanding the brand new landscape you find yourself in.
Okay, first things first, and I really want you to hear this. If you're feeling overwhelmed or confused or even a little bit scared, that is completely 100% normal. The jump from college life to the professional world is a huge one, and it's okay to feel the weight of it. Just acknowledging that's the first step.
All right, so once you've taken a deep breath, it's time to get practical. Let's start by putting together your job search toolkit. These are the absolute essential first steps you gotta take.
Look, the key here is strategy. You don't want to just spray your resume everywhere and hope for the best. Start by making a list of companies you actually admire. Then, tweak your resume to highlight the skills they're looking for. And finally, use that polished resume to build up your professional online presence.
And when we talk about online profiles, there's one platform that is absolutely key. Now, what's interesting here is how you should think about LinkedIn. It's not just another social media site, right? It's your professional storefront where recruiters and companies can come and see everything you've accomplished.
LinkedIn is a super powerful tool, for sure. But don't stop there. You want to cast a really wide net. So check out the big job boards like Indeed, but also dig into local job sites. If you're in a city like Bengaluru, for instance, there are specific boards just for local opportunities that you don't want to miss. Okay, so you've started applying, fantastic. Now let's get real and talk about the hurdles you're probably going to face. Things like rejection, the whole experience paradox, and of course, the interview process itself. And here it is, the classic catch-22 for pretty much every graduate out there. Companies want you to have experience, but how are you supposed to get experience if you can't get a job? It's probably the single most common frustration, but trust me, it is not an impossible wall to climb.
And when you do get that call for an interview, just remember that patience is so important. The hiring process is rarely instant. It can often involve a bunch of steps, like an initial test, maybe a couple of interviews, and it can easily stretch out over 2 weeks or even more. Knowing this timeline can really help manage the anxiety of waiting. Now, for a hugely practical tip that can give you a real edge. In today's global job market, being able to communicate confidently, especially in English, is a massive advantage. Practice with friends, record yourself on your phone, whatever it takes to build up that confidence before you walk into that interview room. We've talked about the challenges. Now let's totally switch gears. Let's go from just reacting to them to proactively making yourself an even stronger candidate. This is the part where you really start to take control of your journey. It's also really important to have realistic expectations about salary. Do a little research for your specific city. For example, in a major tech hub like Bengaluru, a typical starting salary might be somewhere in this range. Knowing that benchmark for your area helps you figure out if an offer is fair when it finally comes in. So, how do you stand out and maybe even get a better salary? By building the skills that employers are really hungry for. Things like being a whiz at Excel, having strong communication skills, and that confident English speaking we just talked about. Those are valuable no matter where you go. And this is how you tackle that whole no experience problem head on. Think about getting a part-time job. It builds confidence and you learn so much. Go to career fairs to meet recruiters face-to-face and start networking, which, by the way, is way less scary than it sounds.
Yeah, that word, networking, it really just means talking to people. That's it. And here's an actionable tip for you. Find 3 people from your college on LinkedIn who now work at companies you're interested in. Send them a simple message, say you admire their career path, and ask for just 15 minutes of their time for some advice. It's a direct, respectful way to start building those connections.
We've covered the tools, we've covered the hurdles, and we've covered the strategies. But honestly, the most important piece of the puzzle is your mindset.
This last part is all about framing this time in your life not as some frantic race, but as a journey.
And please, remember this. Your entire future does not hang in the balance of a single interview. It's built on a whole series of small, consistent actions. Every application you send, every new skill you learn, every bit of practice, and every tiny improvement you make along the way.
So ultimately, it all really comes down to these 4 things. 1. Keep practicing your skills to stay sharp. 2. Do your best to stay positive, especially when you face rejection. 3. Be patient with the process, and just as important, be patient with yourself. And 4, the big one, never ever give up.
They say the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So I'll leave you with this question. After everything we've talked about, from updating your LinkedIn to practicing a new skill, what is the very first small step you're going to take on your journey today?